On Valentine's Day 2014, I was still single, but went out on a blind date thanks to a friend of mine who said this girl would be perfect for me. All my buddy told me was that she was into pretty much the same thing I was: sports, occasional drinking, and just having a good time. So to get ready for the date, I decided to get a haircut and shave a little. I also bought some flowers to give to her. I was pretty nervous though. I felt like I was going to make a clown of myself or say something I'd regret. I get a good night's rest and then text her on the big day asking where to meet, and she says that she'd like to meet at the local park at 4 p.m. and I happily agreed. I'm waiting at the park now, sitting down, when I'm approached by this woman who I assume is my blind date. She says to me, "Hey, you waiting for someone?" So I respond with, "Yeah, name's Michael." She then says, "Nice to meet you. So where are we going? Haha." Without really thinking, I just thought she was my blind date and replied to her, "I was thinking we'd start by going for a bite to eat. I know a nice little restaurant that you should try. My treat, of course." And so that's where we went. While at the restaurant, she started making the usual small talk anyone would on their date, but her questions began to get stranger as they went on. She started by asking what I did for a living, and I said I work at a grocery store. I then asked her what she did, and she replied, "Oh, well, currently times are tough, but I used to work at a pharmacy." I didn't want to be rude and ask why or how she left her job, so I just said, "Well, hopefully things get better. The sun always shines brightest when you stay positive, I mean." My phone goes off, but before I could check it, we get our food. We start to eat and then eventually leave the restaurant. It's about 6 p.m. when I was ready to call it a night, and then my car wouldn't start. She then tells me that she'll drop me off, so I say, "Really? Thank you, I truly appreciate it." Now the questions start getting asked again. She asks if I live alone. I didn't want to say that I do because I barely know her, so I just respond with, "No, I've got a roommate." Again, my phone goes off like before, but I don't check it and she says, "Mind if I spend the night with you?" Keep in mind, I haven't told her my address. All I told her was the area that I live in. I tell her, "Thanks, but I gotta wake up early tomorrow for work, so I'd rather not tonight." This only makes things worse though. She now asks, "What time do you usually get home?" In my mind, I'm starting to freak out because she sounds like she wants to know when and where I'll be. I felt like if I told her the times I usually get home, then she could show up in my area to try and find out where I live exactly, and then who knows what else from there. At this point, I said, "It's different each day. I don't have a set schedule. Hey, my mom texted me and asked if I could meet her at the mall. Would you mind dropping me off there?" She says, "Okay, no problem." I didn't like the way she said it, but she heads towards the mall and thankfully no creepy questions are asked on the way. We arrive at the mall and I thank her for the date, telling her that I had fun even though I never want to see her again. And she says, "I hope we can do this again soon. Maybe I'll even get to hang out with you on top of the hills." This scared me because I was almost certain she was referring to the hills near my house. I just said, yeah, maybe. We'll see when I'm not too busy. Thanks again." The date finally ends and she leaves. After all this, it was time for me to call a ride home. So when I pull up my phone, I notice 2 text messages from the same number. The first one reads, "Hey Michael, sorry I have to do this, but I can't meet up with you today. Let's reschedule for another time." And the second one reads, "I hope you're not mad. Please get back to me whenever you get the chance. Happy Valentine's Day." My heart almost stopped, and I was scared out of my mind. I didn't know who the other girl was, or if she somehow knew me beforehand, or worse, knew where I lived since she knew about the hills. I tell my actual blind date, "Sorry for the delayed response, let's take a rain check on the date. Happy Valentine's Day to you as well." In my mind though, all I could think about was if I'll survive the night. It made it difficult to sleep, especially since I really did live alone. I never saw her again, but I never did any blind dates ever again either.